Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. This is episode 233 of the aforementioned series. We have creepers on a mountain hill over there. Mountain hill, you know, when a mountain has a baby with a hill. You see, son, when a mountain loves a hill, and they're both very comfortable with each other... Anyway, yeah, sorry. Episode 233. Farlands or Bust, grabbing Wolfie, continuing west. Isn't it just nice and dandy to see the sun rising and continuing with our Minecraft series over 2 years in the making? Continuing from a previous episode where nothing unusual or out of the ordinary happened whatsoever. And just continuing on, making progress. So much progress to the Farlands. But also, more importantly, Wolfie has disappeared. Let's hope he responds. We're raising money for Child's Play charity still, and we got a big surge of donations. And if your name is Serge or Sergio, and you donated, congratulations, you accidentally got a shout-out right there. No, but a big bump in donations. We're past $22,000. $22,095 is where we're at when I've started recording this episode, to be more precise. Like I said, a few big donations, a couple of them anonymous, one of them anonymously, but from Denmark. So I express my thanks to all the peoples of Denmark, because one of you was very generous with your donation to Child's Play charity. And that's over at farlandsorbust.com. We can get all of the pertinent information about Farlands or Bust, like, why am I doing this? How long have I been doing this? Why did my nose just suddenly get stuffed up? Well, that was weird, excuse me. Why am I playing in Minecraft Beta 173 and haven't updated? Blah, 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 blah. So that's over at farlandsorbust.com. On the homepage is the Child's Play charity chip-in widget. Oh, not a chip-in widget, just the Child's Play charity widget. Your standard official widget as created by and endorsed by Child's Play charity. Yes, we're continuing on. I had to create some torches. What the heck? This and the last episode, I don't know if you could tell, but like, I'm perfectly fine. I'm not sick or anything, but right when I start recording, it's like, my nose is all like stuffed up and I feel like I have to sneeze. Yeah, that's kind of weird. But no, maybe it wasn't last episode. Maybe I was recording Tomb Raider. In an upcoming episode of Tomb Raider, I believe I sneezed a few times. So anyway, yeah, Farlands or Bust, Child's Play charity, great cause, thank you, continuing on, indeed. Speaking of recording and videos, Mindcrack Ultra Hardcore, Season 9 started yesterday. Check that out, those videos go up for everybody on alternating days, every other day at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is 2200 GMT, so... if you're wondering about that schedule, that's how that works. Exciting stuff back with Ultra Hardcore. I know it's probably where a lot of you came from, was Ultra Hardcore Season 3, when we first did the first PvP version of that. And had a lot of fun with that, got a lot of popularity. People have been waiting for Ultra Hardcore. We've had delays because Minecraft has been updating so quickly lately that the mod makers can't keep the Ultra Hardcore mod up to date. And even this season, I don't know if it's apparent, but we're playing in 1.47, not 1.5, just because Bucket wasn't updated when we were recording it. But I think it, at least through the first episode, is very interesting, very different. We're doing teams. Team Dookie is back. Myself, B00, DocM77, and Etho are together as a team. But the other teams, it's funny... you get a wide range of teams. We are very, I guess, careful and calculated. The team Nancy Drew with Good and Vintage Beef and Paws and Badge are at least in the first episode, seeming to be a little bit panic-stricken and just kind of derping around sometimes. Then you got the team that Generic B is on, are just very having a good time, a lot of jokes, a lot of stuff like that. So a lot of different perspectives. This would have been a nice place to find in Ultra Hardcore. Look at all this surface iron. Good grief. Could have used this for days. Oh, man. I'm almost considering getting a little bit low on iron, and it's very rare to come across this much, so maybe I should take a moment. Let me make Wolfie sit. No, stop, sit. I don't want to accidentally have you walk in front of me, and then you get a pickaxe in the face. So yeah, Ultra Hardcore is back. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing everybody else's perspectives from my own interest in watching. It's not just you guys who are interested in these videos coming out and waiting. We are. So there's that. I also, this morning, or this afternoon, depending on your perspective, uploaded a new game that I'm playing called War Thunder. I had a lot of problems, and in a previous Mindcrack episode, I was complaining a lot. I had purchased a game called IL-2 Cliffs of Dover, a wider, more supposedly professionally released game in the IL-2 Sturmovik series. I had played the 1946 series before, which was a good game. It was, extremely, flight. If you think Microsoft Flight Simulator is a flight simulator, this is more of a flight simulator. More realism, a little bit more overbearing in that regard. But wow, 28 iron. That would be oh gosh, even more. That would be the jackpot in Ultra Hardcore. The jackpot, see? I don't need this cobble, however. And coal, not as important, but I'll take it since I just made a pretty full stack of torches. All right, Wolfie, yeah, that was productive. What was I saying? Yeah, I had a lot of problems. It's on Steam, IL-2 Cliffs of Dover. I do not recommend it at all, and to be honest, given problems, we've seen problems with War Z and other games that are released and they're so buggy that Steam takes them down. IL-2 Cliffs of Dover should not be a game that's up on Steam. It's sure if you I could see purchasing it from or as a standalone from the people who made the game, if you're that much of a fan of it. But games to me on Steam, the way they make it simplified. Install game. Okay, you've installed the game. That's all you really need to do. Steam takes care of the rest. It's not plug and play. There's a lot, even just to get it to work or look right. There's a lot of going into config files, text.ini initial, whatever they're called, exe, not exe files, but just config files and .dll files and adjusting settings from there. It's just a terrible implementation of a game. And like I've said this whole spiel. If you want to watch that, it's one of the previous Mindcrack episodes, 2 or 3 episodes ago. But there's people who will defend it till the ends of the earth. Oh, you just don't understand the Sturmovik IL-2 system, blah, 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 blah. Just like they're maybe, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I've given up on the IL-2 series as a game in general. I've donated my $20 to them that I will never get back. The end. Game over. So a lot of you in that video suggested War Thunder, which is a free-to-play combat flight simulator of the World War II era. So I've tried that out. Still not entirely sure if that's going to work as a series or not, because it is more based on the multiplayer combat system, whereas I was more looking for a single-player storyline campaign-style flight simulator. But I'll give it a chance. I've got the tutorial missions to go through. There are a few single-player missions to go through, but like I said, it's a little bit more on the kind of a match-by-match multiplayer basis, which I'm not particularly that much a fan of or that good at. It's another reason why you really haven't seen that much Hawken simply because it's kind of a difficult thing to get consistent Let's Play material out of. Whoops. There we go. So who knows? We'll see. I'll continue playing it, and I'll continue uploading videos every now and again just to see how it goes. But yeah, that's some new videos and stuff you can be looking forward to on the channel, in addition to, obviously, Farlands or Bust, right, Wolfie? No, let's go to sleep. And Wolfie's not barking this. There we go. All right. I was going to say, I'm not going to talk until Wolfie barks. So, continuing west, let me answer some questions from you guys. Here's an idea. So suddenly the PBS Ideas channel. Here's an idea. I think I'm going to, since you guys can add comments to your donations, you can always do that, but since you can add comments to your donations, if you ask a question in there, I will give priority to those questions. Once again, I'm not saying everybody has to donate. I'm not saying if you don't ask a question with a donation, I'm not going to answer it. I'll just give priority to that. I know some people say I don't do enough to incentivize donations to Child's Play charity. I don't say that I'm going to eat an English muffin covered in cat food, or you know, I did the head shave thing, I guess was one of the only quote-unquote stunts that I did for Child's Play charity donations. And perhaps... Wolfie? Uh-oh. Wolfie? Woof, there he is. Do not do such a thing. We've had too many scares like that in the past. Where was I going? Oh, yeah, people are saying, oh, I don't do much to incentivize. I don't have, like, auctions or handouts or this or that or the other. So perhaps, as a kind of just a small incentive, if you do ask your question with a donation and ask that question... How did you... That was a single block fall. Yeah, if you ask it with a donation in the comments section... using the Child's Play charity widget on farlandsorbust.com, I will give priority to answer those questions. So, priority given to Commander Sealand asked, have you ever considered opening up a KurtJMac fan server like some Mindcrack personalities have? Other YouTubers have those. I've addressed this before, and I'm not really wanting to do that, and I've even had oh, I get choked up about it even thinking about it. I've even had Farlanders fans offer their services. Oh, I run servers, or oh, I can have this server that's already running, it's public, and with your best wishes, could it become the official Farlands or Bust fan server? And I always decline. Few reasons. Running a fan server is actually a bit of a chore. I'm not particularly, myself, well-versed in the ins and outs of running a Minecraft server, let alone a public one that is open to all sorts of additional issues. So I'm not interested in taking away time from making videos and other things that I enjoy doing and that are far more productive for Farlands or Bust and my channel to administer a fan server. Of course, like I said, you could say, oh, well, somebody else could handle that for you. You might also remember that I like having... I'm a control freak. No, I like having control over the products, I guess you could say, the identity of my channel, the brand identity, I guess, of Farlands or Bust, which is why I control the t-shirt store, my own website. People have offered to design a much more fancy WordPress moduled, forumed website, and I'm like, no, I'm happy with my simple... Oh, careful, Wolfie, don't be stuck in the boat. Okay. Much more happy just being in control and hosting that myself and designing it and writing the HTML and making the graphics myself. People have offered to create channel backgrounds for me. Coming from a graphic design background, I'm much more comfortable controlling that myself. That way I have all the fonts, I know what colors, and blah, 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 blah. Same thing goes for a fan server. If I hand it over to somebody else, not saying I wouldn't trust said person, but then they become, I guess the term might be liability. They become an extension of my own responsibilities. So if they do something that's not kosher, then suddenly that reflects upon myself. Alternately, even if somebody else is running a server, if there are problems, everybody would come to me. And again, previously, I don't want to defer energy or time away from what I still believe. I still have a lot of work to go to getting to a place where I feel like I'm doing these Let's Plays and my channel and videos and that sort of stuff, quote-unquote, correctly, or correctly in my own eyes, my own perspective of how I wish to be running such a thing. Woo! Niagara Falls. Woof. Woof indeed. So yeah, that's one of the reasons, I don't really have a fan server. I'm not planning on it. I don't have forums or a fan website or things like that, or my own Reddit or blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I understand why people might like that, but certainly not anytime soon, and perhaps not ever. I have alternate suggestions, however. There are some friends of mine on the YouTubes who have very good fan servers. I know Michael has a fan server, obviously. I'm sure you've heard of that. He's quite on there quite frequently. But also, Two Girls With Minecraft have a very, very good fan server. I think it's something that, once again, they hand over to other people to kind of run, but I've been on there a couple times during some of their events. Two Girls With Minecraft. You have to go to their website to find out the address and things like that. Justra has a good fan server. He has a lot of good connections with people who run mods and things, and he's got a whole system set up where there's survival games you can play, and King of the Ladder you can play on a server, and different mini games, and then blah, 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 blah. So, if you're looking for a free to join kind of fan server experience, I would recommend those. There's also the Nerdfighteria, which is the Vlogbrothers, I guess, Minecraft server. It's kind of something they set up, and it definitely follows that theme, although it is in control. It is under the administration of somebody else that they've handed those duties over to, so those are some options for you. I'm not saying I frequent those servers that much. I made a video on Nerdfighteria before, and I've been, like I said, on Justra's server, and also the Two Girls in Minecraft, but very, not too likely that you'll be seeing me on any of those, to be honest, but yeah, those are all options for you. So, yeah, thanks for that question, and thanks for the donation, of course. I feel like this boat is going to be a waste all of a sudden, now that I see the land generating, but we'll find out. Another question from a donation is from Coffee, C-O-F-E-Y-H. Coffee. If you had a chance to visit one planet in our solar system, which do you think you would choose? Probably not a planet, to be honest. Mars possibly is interesting, but then again, it might not be interesting. I would probably want to visit a moon, if you could count that as a planet. Probably something like Europa or Enceladus, which are kind of the two moons that are most likely to have some sort of ocean or microbial life on them. Maybe Titan, although Titan doesn't seem all that hospitable. It seems interesting, but not all that hospitable. And the pictures we've gained from them from our lander, the Huygens probe that was on Cassini, that landed and gave us a few pictures of the surface. It seems a lot like Mars or Venus. If you look at the pictures from Venus too, it's like, oh, that's very Mars-like. It's just, very rocky, kind of these kind of flat, there's definite stratification in the geology and the rocks and stuff like that, but it is pretty amazing how similar to Earth and Mars and Venus they all are, and even Titan, and I'm sure other moons. I mean, even our moon has that you could set up, you could sort of see. So I think, one of the ice moons, like Enceladus, would be a completely different topography to experience. Maybe find a way to drill through the ice and into the ocean to check that out. Excuse me, Wolfie. So yeah, definitely those. And there has been some news, I think. There's been some additional funding has been restored to NASA's planetary sciences, which was cut out in previous budget fiscal appropriations, and then also with the sequestration or whatever this government that can't get stuff done and just continues to bigger at each other. But yeah, there has been some restoration of planetary sciences, so hopefully that includes, I think it does include some funding to research the possibility of a lander on one of these ice moons to explore. But regardless, speaking of moons, here comes Minecraft's moon. Let's go to sleep. And mooniness, moonosity, mooner. Woof. I had a little bit of a seizure. Let's see, another question from donators from Medusa asked, have you ever seen the Aurora Borealis? Or do you plan to? I've answered this before also. That is one of the bucket list items. Have never seen Aurora, Northern Lights, but I would really like to. I'd also at some point, one of the places I'd like to visit is Alaska, so I would certainly try to schedule such a visit where they do have darkness. Obviously not during the summer, because then the sun never sets. But during a time where it would hopefully be possible to see the Northern Lights. There have been a few occasions where we've had a geomagnetic storm or something, and the Northern Lights have crept down to within Chicago range, but where I live is just too much light pollution. I would have to go somewhere to actually be able to see them. Yeah, definitely would like to see the Northern Lights. Would also like to visit Iceland at some point. You can definitely see the Northern Lights from Iceland, certain points of Iceland. So, yeah, definitely on the list, but no, that is one of the few astronomical phenomenon that I have yet to experience in person. I've seen, obviously, satellite and the space station fly over. I've seen eclipses, the solar... I haven't seen a full solar eclipse. I saw the partial one last May, and that I had no idea I would be able to see it from Chicago. It was just at sunset, and when I saw like the bite out of the sun, that was really dramatic, right? Dramatic, like a pink sheep, pink sheep, pink sheep. Boop. It was a pink sheep eclipse. Ah, well done, guy. Well done. That was perfect. Yeah, I saw the eclipse. I saw the transit of Venus, which, if you didn't see that, then you will never ever see it, because it's not going to happen again for another 140 some odd years. Transit of Venus. I've seen, obviously, lunar eclipses. Eclipsi are far more frequent, so I've seen my fair share of lunar eclipses. I've seen transits across the face of Jupiter of the moons, and then the shadows of the moons on Jupiter. That happens rather frequently. I was unable, unfortunately, to see... Whoa, watch out for those cactuses, Wolfie. Okay, no, don't go that way. This last time Saturn its equator was pointing at us and the rings were edge on. That's really the only time you could see the moons of Saturn cast shadows. There was one point where that would have been a possibility, but I think it was cloudy, and I missed it, unfortunately. So that happens once every... I think the cycle is 14 years. So we'll have to wait another... Is it every 15 years it comes within the plane, or every 15 years that's the maximum? That's clay, by the way. So it might either be... I'll have to wait another 15 years, or I'll have to wait another 30 years. Either way, I've seen meteor showers, very bright meteors, bolide meteors, fireballs, I guess you could say. But yeah, the Northern Lights, not one of the things I've seen yet, so I'll have to check that out. If I am ever able to get far up north, or perhaps maybe I'll be able to get somewhere far down south and see the Aurora Australis. Wait, no, that didn't sound right. Aurora Australis. I think that's how you say it. There's a lot of vowels in that word. Indeed. Indeed. Where's the sun, by the way? There it is. Alright. Halfway into the day here. I have a question from the comments, rather, I should say. It sounds kind of like a jerk move. I have a question from somebody who didn't donate. Jeez. No. Luke, once again, Luke, I think I answered a question from Luke before, asked, how was your experience learning to drive? Were you taught mainly by family or mainly by instructors? Was it easy or was it a struggle? We learn in the public school system here in the United States is where we get our driver's instruction. I mean, there are private instructors you can hire and stuff like that, but I obviously went through the school, and since my birthday is in the summer, I had to take it over the summer. Just kind of sucked having summer vacation and then having to go back to school for this class for driver's ed, but I actually did very well. I didn't do that much practicing beforehand with my parents, did a little bit, but it's also a requirement on a state-by-state basis that you need to get so many hours of practice driving with your permit, with your parents or somebody like that, before you can get your license. Something like, I think it's a lot now, it's something like 100 hours or something like that, but when I was doing it, it was maybe like 30 or 40 hours. So I did some of that, and that, the most harrowing experiences are driving with your parents, because they tend to freak out a lot more than, say, your driving instructor who has seen it all and stuff like that, and who isn't driving in their own family car. You know, it's the school's car, so who cares if you hit a curb or something like that. But I didn't hit any curbs. It was interesting, you know, you get assigned partners, so you trade off, and then if you're not driving, you're sitting in the back seat and observing. The people I got paired up with were really crappy drivers, and it's just scary, because it's like, all right, I'm going to be sharing the road with these people one day. So yeah, they rather hit a few curbs, or the instructor had to use his or her own brake multiple times, but I was quite good. I don't know. I'd like to say I could chalk it up to being experienced with the racing and driving video games at the time, but I don't know. I don't know that there's anything relatable with that. But yeah, I did quite well. Passed that with flying colors. And then because of that, I didn't have to take the test at the DMV, which is a lifesaver, because I know people who have done that, who find the DMV instructors or test people. Wolfie, why are you way over there? Spawn over here. I'm trying to feed you pigs. Yeah, there you are. Are you going to attack? I think so. Woo! So yeah, I didn't have to take the DMV driving test if you get a certain grade and if you don't get randomly chosen to be forced to take the test. So actually, I've never, even since then, I haven't had any tickets or accidents, and because of that, you can just renew your license fairly quickly. And I've never had to take the DMV driver's test. So that's a good thing. It's because I don't want to be driving with a stranger, and these people are always in bad moods. And it's like, sorry, your job sucks. Maybe you should get a different one. But yeah, I never had these pigs. Oh, maybe they had one workshop. I was gonna say, these pigs are all dry. Never had to take that. So fairly uneventful for me, except for the whole driving with your parents situation. The old problem is my parents, we never owned any cars. My dad owned a pickup truck and my mom owned an SUV, so I learned on large vehicles. So I guess it was just a little bit strange doing my school instructor training because they had cars, you know, little Chevy Cavaliers or something, which ironically is what I end up driving now, but I was used to being up and above the road and being able to see everybody and being like, haha, I'm in a larger vehicle than you, and then I get to driver's ed and they're all these little tiny cars, and it was a little bit of a different experience, but yeah, flying colors, I guess. And that's pretty. I've never gotten a ticket, or I've never been in an accident. I've avoided accidents, and I have also avoided that lava. Avoided accidents, and I've been pulled over. It's just for stupid stuff. One of your two, what was it called? License plate lights is out. So the guy had to pull me over, of course. Give me a warning is what I got, but guys are bored, I guess. So yeah, that's... And again, with a very convenient exposed area of exposed ironness. Alright, I really do not need any more. This is a pretty... Oh. This probably goes somewhere, but this looks kind of cool. Oh. And I do need the cobblestone to make a furnace to cook this iron. Wolfie, where are you going off to lately? Yeah, back over here, you noodle. Yep, come on. And sit. Woof. What was I saying? Yeah, that was one of the only times I've gotten pulled over was for that. Ugh. And, boop. What else happened? I think that's the only time I ever really got pulled over. I'm trying to think. Nah. That's it. I spun out once. Accidentally in the rain. Hydroplaned. But other than that, it was good times. Good times indeed. I didn't hit anything. I just went, woo, okay, this was interesting. Let's continue on driving. All right, let's make a furnace, and then we can smelt this iron. Maybe I should make two to make things go quicker, since we really don't tend to stick around an area that long. Split that up. Boop, boop. And let's... Oh gosh, am I going to have more than a stack of coal now? Or iron? Well, I guess I can make a pickaxe. Alright, awesome. Let's do that. Let's make the beds. Thank you very much, obviously, for those donations to Child's Play Charity at farlandsorbust.com. And also for the questions that came with them, the questions in the comments, questions on Twitter, elsewhere. Please continue to check out and enjoy Ultra Hardcore Season 9. You guys are going to have a good time with that. I know we certainly did. And my other series is War Thunder. Trying to get that one to work. We'll see. I'll base it off of the feedback I get, obviously, and how much fun I'm having. But yeah, until those videos and until the next Far Lands or Bust, I do appreciate you watching. Click that little like button if you enjoyed. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Ooh, it's nice and toasty warm with these furnaces.